everyone could say that it's good to be alive today. Yes, it's good to be alive today.
Reverend J. Lang from the Napa Valley Center for Spiritual Living on the grounds of Bottle Rock, which has been postponed this year until September. And at our center, we are able to do a music benefit called Unbottled on June 18th at 7 p.m. It features the like of Michael Franti, Gary Lynn Floyd, Karen Drucker, Lisa Ferrara, Shauna Marshall, and many more. And it benefits the nonprofits that have been challenged during this pandemic, including Porta Abiertas, Napa Valley Food Bank, our own Diversity and Ministry Program, Teen Connect, Crush MS, and more. So I hope you can join us. Tickets are now on sale. Even if you can't join us on June 18th, you'll still receive a link that you can watch it, because it's going to be a fun event, and you're part of a bigger benefit here, which we really appreciate. Hope you can attend and be part of this movement. Much love to you.
One day, one day, one day, one day, one day we always say that it's good to be alive today. It's good to be alive, y'all. Thank you for being here to support, and I look forward to the time when we can all be together in the same place, high-fiving each other, giving a stranger a hug, and just being a community and one. But in the meantime, thank you so much for being here online with the Unbottled Festival. Peace. Sing this part with me now. And we all say, one day, one day, one day, one day.
Good morning, Napa Valley. So good to have everybody here today. You know, this is starting just like services of old. When I start talking, everybody is still talking. So this feels very familiar. God, or the novelty of being in a community, I guess. So blessings to everybody today, those in person and those online today. We just bless you right where you are. And our music today is such a blessing too. We have Lynda Lundry-Starr here. I'm just going to turn it over to her, and I'll tell you more about her later.
Okay, great. Good morning, everybody. We're going to start with a little song by the late Linda Webb-Kakaba called Everything I Need to Know. Everything that I need to know about what lies before me. Everything that I need to know about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me. Everything that I need to heal about what lies before me. Everything that I need to heal about what lies lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me. Everything that I need to love about what lies before me, everything that I need to love about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me. Everything that I need to forgive about what lies before me, everything that I need to forgive about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me. Everything that I need to release about what lies before me, everything that I need to release about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me, through the mind of God within me, through the mind of God within me.
Oh, thank you so much. It's such a delight to have live musicians here. And you were saying this is the first live performance you've had in a year and a half or something?
Yes, and the first one outside in 30 years.
How about that?
Yeah.
Well, this is the weekend we would normally have Bottle Rock, and there would be 10,000 people here, and you would hear loudspeakers coming here, but it got postponed till September. So you are rocking it today, the only rock in it here. So I love how when you describe your music, you talk about being a journal of your life that you experience. It's your expression of your life. Mm-hmm. And so we appreciate your vulnerability and your willingness to share who you are with us today. So, so good to have you here. And it's so good to have everybody here today. We like to begin each service with, boy, this is blocking right here, isn't it? I'll move that in a little bit here. How we, whether you are here in person or online, we just bless you in this moment. And we have an official way of doing that. We just raise our hands to each other and we say, we bless you today, knowing that the peace and happiness you seek is also seeking you. We honor your inner radiance as you let your light shine in the world. We are grateful for your presence in our community. And so it is. And we also like to repeat our vision and mission statement. We are an inclusive community for spiritual growth and compassionate action. And our mission statement, we are co-creating a world that works for everyone by living intentionally, loving unconditionally, and seeing God in all people and all faiths. Glorious affirmation, and we know that it is coming true for this community in all ways. So thank you for being a part of that, virtually and in person. One thing I'd like to let you know that we are, we're still wanting to meet outside just because we're still, I know our COVID numbers are so much better and we're celebrating that, but we're still not out of the woods completely. And so we still want to honor meet outdoors for more safety and precautions. But if the heat is too much for you during June, it's going to be a little warmer. It feels pretty good right now, but if it gets too warm for you, we're setting up the sanctuary there. We've got 30 chairs in there and air conditioning, and you can watch it on a screen, but still be a part of our community. So don't let the heat keep you away. It's cooler than we thought it would be today, which is wonderful. And it's great to be part of a community, even if you're inside, have that community feel. So want to be a part of that. I wanted to let you know that this weekend is the last weekend for the early bird tickets to Unbottled, our music benefit. It's so exciting. We're getting these videos in and getting our sponsors together, and our tickets are increasing. So I hope you're being a part of it. There's an excitement. And we were able to piece part of a video promo that we put together. Those people in person will only be able to hear the audio, but I think online you'll be able to see the video also. Maybe. But everybody will at least be able to hear the audio of the promo we're doing, and then go on our Facebook page and our website to see the video of Michael Franti. So here we go.
What if everyone could say that it's good to be alive today? Yes, it's good to be alive today.
Reverend Jay Lang from the Napa Valley Center for Spiritual Living on the grounds of Bottle Rock, which has been postponed this year until September. And at our center, we are able to do a music benefit called Unbottled on June 18th at 7 p.m. It features the like of Michael Franti, Gary Lynn Floyd, Karen Drucker, Lisa Ferrara, Shauna Marshall, and many more. And it benefits the nonprofits that have been challenged during this pandemic, including Puerto Abiertas, Napa Valley Food Bank, our own diversity, because it's a little more downplay of it, but it benefits many different nonprofits here in Napa Valley, including Teen Connect, Puerto Abiertas, Napa Valley Food Bank, our own diversity and ministry program, and Crush MS. So we're excited that we are able to support them. And not only is Michael Franti going to be there, but Jamie Lula, Seeker, which is Lisa Ferrara, and Natalia Zuckerman, Karen Drucker, Gary Lynn Floyd, Jamie Lula. So really it's going to be a fun thing. And even if you can't be there live on June 18th, which is when it is, if you buy a ticket, it will give you access not only to watch it live, but you can watch it recorded later, or if you can only watch it recorded later, you can watch it multiple times. So we appreciate your support of that. Tomorrow's the last day to get that early bird ticket. So look at that. And I encourage you to get those tickets right away. Also, another thing coming up very quickly, if I could have Branessa come up here. We're going to have a new class starting on June 8th called Ancient Wisdom and Ernest Holmes. It'll be a combination of them. And I just want her to say a little bit about her part of it, which is going to start on June 8th about Ernest Holmes.
Come and join my class. Thank you. No, I'm just kidding. I love Ernest Holmes. He's my homie. But I'm teaching the portion of the Ancient Wisdom course the first 4 weeks, and it's like a condensed version of the Essential Ernest class. And what makes it so essential is it fits our history subject matter for taking our classes, but don't get bored or think that history has to be boring. What the historical aspect of Essential Ernest is really a collection, like excerpts of his best writing, his most uplifting writing. And Science of Mind teaching is a faith, a philosophy, and a way of life. And this is a class that, even though it says it's a history class, is really about you. So this is a practical spirituality that is meant to be applied in our lives. So the course is set up for you to apply spiritual principles each week. And we always have a lot of fun in the classes that I teach. And I promise you that my conviction for this teaching is contagious. So we're going to have a good time, and I hope that you could join me. Thank you.
You can step off this way if you want. And then my part will be in July about the ancient wisdom roots that we have in this New Thought philosophy. So we're excited about that. The combination of them. What's important about this class is many of you have taken a foundations class or Beyond Limits class, and you've taken lots of electives, but to qualify to be a practitioner, you need one of these, either Essential Ernest or Roots, or both of those classes, and we can work with you on how to get that qualification. So if you're even thinking about being a practitioner, please sign up for this class so that you can consider that possibility. And also, just to let you know about practitioner classes that we're going to start mid-September, is that if you're not sure you want to be a practitioner, the first year is just a deep dive, an inner journey of developing your consciousness. And it's the second year to decide whether you want to be a practitioner or not. So that's another thing you can do is it's an intensive application of spiritual principle. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said they would like to be able to hold all people and all things in oneness. And I said, that's a great intention, and that's what being a practitioner is about. That's exactly what being a practitioner is about. That's what you learn how to do, to hold everything in this oneness. So we invite you to be a part of that and prepare by taking these classes so you can be a practitioner, or be part of that inner journey, and then later decide whether you want to be a practitioner or not. So exciting things. Also, we're doing another part of the in-person. We're doing meditation on Wednesday nights is now in person at 6:30. We do a half-hour meditation, and then we do a circle of intention, where we just share what's going on in our lives and express an intention and hold that intention for each other. So that's another exciting thing. Course in Miracles is meeting. Michael Coleman is here. You can call him. Information on how to reach him is on the webpage, or you can talk to him in person if you're here. So that's an exciting thing. Also, in terms of, I meant to mention that in practitioner and classes that we've been taking here, just recently we finished, well, not recently, about 2 months ago, Power of Your Word. Branessa taught that class, and we had several people finishing it and completed with certificates. And if your name is called, you can just stand up, but the certificates are in the office. You can pick them up today or some other time at the office. But that would include Dana Adams, Kenna Burke, Karen Grobel, Dick Heiselman, Shauna Marshall, Julie Nord, Bill Peatman, Jenna Dickerson, Mary Ward, Michelle Wilson, and Ray Hudson. And then also we just completed a foundations course. We don't have the certificates for those yet, but completing that was Dana Adams, Carolyn Nash, Sean Boyd, and Kenna Burke. So that's several. Let's give them all a round of applause. So now we begin the sacred part of our service. We're going to open it up with music, and then Branessa is going to come up and lead us in prayer and a spiritual reflection that the practitioners do each week. So I'm going to turn it over to Sacred Time.
Take away the melody, take away the songs I sing, take away all the light and all the songs you let me write. That's the one I am today. Say the words you need to say. Well, let them see you in me. Let them hear you when I speak. Let them feel you when I sing. Let them see you. Let them see you in me. Who am I without your grace? Another smile, another face, another breath, a grain of sand, passing quickly through your hand. Well, I give my life and offer it. Take it all, take everything, and let them see you in me. Let them hear you when I speak. Let them feel you when I sing. Let them see you. Let them see you in me. with every breath I breathe. Sing a simple melody, and I pray they hear more than a song. In me, in me. Let them see you in me. Let them hear you when I speak. Let them feel you when I sing. Let them see you. Let them see you in me. Let them see you.
My sister, spirit sister. I love you, Lynda. All right, so I'm going to open us up with prayer. Yes. So on the drive this morning, I was just so present to the sun. And we know that the sun is light. It's synonymous with light, with power, with beauty, with this sense of expansion, openness. It's just on. And I thought about how these are the qualities of spirit. The power that is God, the light that is God, the life that is God, the giving nature of spirit, the expansive, inherent nature of spirit. And I know that all of these qualities of spirit are my qualities now, because there is only one. I am spirit expressing at the level of Branessa. And what is true for me is true for each person here, each person online, and each person all over the globe, whether we know it or not. There is only one. And it's in this knowing, it's in this understanding that I affirm, I accept, I receive, and I claim my good. For what I know is my nature is expansive, so I open up to let in more light, more life, more expansion, more joy, more ease, more grace, just more and more goodness to flow into this experience here today, into my week, and into the rest of my life. By speaking my word right now, I say yes. I say yes to more, including more peace, more love, more harmony, more everything that is good and life affirming. And what I claim for myself, I claim for everyone. And I'm so grateful to know what I know. I'm so grateful for answered prayer. And I'm so grateful for this knowing and this confidence to just release it and let it be, because what I know is that Spirit's got it. And so it is. Let's just take a few moments to breathe, or seconds, just to breathe that in. Yes, I always say I'm at my best when my toes are out. This is my favorite time of year. Don't look at them though, too close. Not too close, not yet. So I get to share the personal insight for today, and it's about boldly living a new story. So I'm from Sacramento. Well, I was born in Minnesota, but I was raised in Sacramento. And I came to the Bay Area in 2002 when I got accepted to UC Berkeley. And at the time I have 4 sons, 4 biological sons, but I had just adopted my twin nieces as well. So I was going to Berkeley with 6 kids. And so I looked up, right, exactly. I would say pray for me, but it's over now and I made it through. Thank you. Whew, yeah, that was tough. Anywho, I looked up on a 4-bedroom townhouse a year after I moved out here, and now all the rooms are empty. Before, it was 2 kids to every room, and then I had my queendom, in my own room. But now they're all grown. And last year, the year of all transitions, right? 3 of them, my older 2 moved out. They're engaged or married. I have 2 grandkids now. The twins, they're like 19, almost 20 years old. They moved out last year. And the only one was left was my youngest son. And just this past month, he went to the Marines. He's in boot camp right now. And so you are looking at, I've had kids since I was 16 years old. I'm about to be 48. And I am finally an empty nester. And I'm so excited. Yes, thank you. Yes, so I'm learning what to do with myself. I could walk around my house however I want to now. I'm free. And it's a whole new type of freedom. So, of course, I'm boldly stepping into my greatest yet to be. I've done the darn thing already with those kids. And now it's like really my turn. But like I said in my prayer, I'm just so ready to expand even more beyond where I am right now and to give even more from this gift I feel inside of me. So it's just a really great time. It's great energy. Like I said, my toes are out. Maybe I'll feel different next week, but I'm just claiming more and more good because it's a really good time in my life, and I'm grateful for much, and I'm grateful to be here and grateful you are here too. Thank you.
My turn. Okay, this is me again. This is one of my pieces. I read the theme today of boldly stepping into the next, whatever the next is for me. So this is. In the midst of my resistance, I know that I am blessed. In the shadow of a history that I don't understand, there's a seed of hope, a seed of love, a seed of wholeness that belongs to each of us. I call on spirit, I call on love, I call upon the Holy strength that never leaves me alone. Cleanse my thinking, right my heart, restore my faith to the knowing that we never are apart from your love. In the midst of my resistance, I know that I am blessed. In the midst of a heresy that I don't understand, there's a seed of hope, a seed of love,
a seed of fullness that belongs to each of us. So pour your love over me. Drown me in your grace. Deliver me from my old ways. Pour your love over me. Drown me in your grace. Deliver me all from my old ways. I call on Spirit. In the midst of my resistance, I know that I am blessed and accepting responsibility for what I don't understand is a seed of hope, a seed of love, a seed of fullness that belongs to each of us.
Thank you so much, Lynda. It's beautiful. Well, it is such a wonderful day to be here in so many ways in community, and checking to see, and living this new story that we're talking about, boldly living a new story, is a challenge for us on a daily basis that we do. But before I get into that talk, I want to just say it is Memorial Day, and we want to take a time to honor those who have died in service, protecting the freedoms of this nation. Even if you may or may not agree with the wars we've had in our history of our country, the truth is that they have given their lives so that we can enjoy the freedoms of this country, from the Revolutionary War to the Civil War to wars around the globe. Now, I know that this holiday comes with some confusion to young people because sometimes we don't want to talk about death or about war. And there was a story I heard in a church where they had, in their lobby, had put out several pictures of people from their community that had died in different wars, or ancestors of people that attended there. And a young boy came through and he asked the pastor about the pictures. And the pastor said, "Oh, these are people that died in the service." And the boy goes, "Was it the first service or the second service?" So you can see there's some confusion about that. But I don't want to take away, in fact, I want to make sure that we tell our young people to honor the ancestors that we've had, as well as people we might not even know who've given up their lives for our freedoms. And I know for myself that I appreciate these freedoms because there's so many countries that are under authoritarian style governments, or don't have much choice in the governments they have. And for me, I feel more determined to make sure that we have fair and equal elections, that we hold elected officials, local, state, and national officials accountable, because we want to continue to participate, to be a part of this democracy, to make sure we always have it in the name of those people who died to ensure we had those freedoms. So let's just give a moment of just remembering and within silence. And so it is. And I think for this country and for us individually, the idea of boldly living a new story is an important thing to talk about, because in truth, we've lived out of the old story for a long time, and it's worked for us. It's not a question of we've survived, but if we are willing to live out of a new story, to let go of any beliefs from the old story, then we can fully realize in a greater way we can thrive. We can do more than just survive. We can boldly live this new story. If you think about whether it be recent or past stories of old, and perhaps the way we tell the stories or the way we remember them, or the beliefs we have about what happened may not be the most life-affirming ways that we do that. And by updating these stories or creating a new story or letting go of the old beliefs, then we can be open to what is in this very moment. And this even includes on a daily basis when we go to the store, when we're driving, when we're in the workplace, in the family environment, stories we make up about people around us, judgments we have about people when we don't really know, we're just making stuff up. I don't know about you, but I have an advanced degree in MSU in making stuff up, especially about other people. And just this morning, when we were before people arrived, we do a prayer before people arrive, just to the production team and the musicians and the practitioner and all that. And the wine train sounded. It's great to hear the wine train again. And I just brought it into the prayer that it was Spirit calling us. And then Lynda's song was perfect about Spirit calling, and it just fit. But also during Branessa's prayer, there was some horn honking off in the distance, some alarm going off. Guess what my brain was doing? Making stuff up about whose car that was. What are they doing? They're not paying attention. They're disrupting our service. Who do they think they are? I don't even know. I don't know anything. They could be 10 miles from their car that a loud car came by and set it off. But we just are so quick to make stuff up. And particularly when we're trying to protect ourselves. I'm trying to protect this community, the sound. I want this good experience for you guys. And I'm saying, who's interrupting this? I'm ready to go fight somebody. Like, come on, stop it. We just do this all the time. And I know the biggest challenge we have, I think, in our judgment and assessment, discernment of things is isolation thinking. When we make stuff up in our mind but don't check it out with other people. And I don't know about you, but I've been doing a lot about over the past year and a half. We've been in isolation more, and it's easy to make stuff up. I was so saddened by hearing another violent incident we had. This one in San Jose is just down the road from us, so to speak. The gunman killed 9 people. I get frustrated. I get angry. I get sad. I don't know why he did that. I know that it could be, there are some stories around. I mean, if you look at the names of the people that he shot, they have a lot of Spanish surnames, and one was a Sikh, and it could have been around racism, but I don't really know. But what I do know, I can be assured that his thinking was an isolation thinking, because nowhere does anybody think that's a good idea to go out and shoot 9 people. It had to happen in isolation of everybody else. And people that know him didn't know he was going to do this. He had bits of anger, he had this and that you can hear. And so this is the problem with isolation thinking, is we can make up stuff about people, about places, and it affects us in life-denying ways. I don't want to hold any judgments about this person or about anybody. I remember growing up, I have an older brother, his name's Dave, 5 years older than me. And we were in a class, foundations class, and I was remembering a story that when I was 4 years old, I was in heaven because we had puppies at our house, and there were like these 6 or 7 cute little puppies, and I picked one up and I was running around with it. My brother said, you know, if you're not careful, you're going to kill that puppy. And of course, I just got devastated and I made stuff up. I was only 4 years old, so I didn't know how to process that. I made up stuff about my brother. I made up stuff about me, about if I'm loving and joyful, I might hurt other people. All sorts of beliefs. I did that. And it wasn't until I was 30, I updated my belief system and realized what I believed about my brother, about him being an uncaring person, is simply just not true. This guy, he's a doctor, and he gave up a more lucrative practice to work with indigenous cultures, an indigenous clinic. He's given up his life to serve other people, and I'm judging him as being a not caring person? Like, what was I thinking? And it left me to develop a closer relationship with him, and I could be present for him when his 20-year-old son, just back 8 years ago, 20-year-old son went missing after a hike and wasn't missing for a whole year, and the struggle and the pain that he and his wife felt. And also to find him that he had died by an accident falling off a cliff, and the tragedy and loss of that. And yes, it's sad. And guess what? If I'd held that judgment about him being uncaring, I wouldn't have been able to be there for him in his loss. We miss so many things when we're in judgment, when we're making up stories about other people, about life as a whole. So I think if we want to be present, if we want to live boldly a new story, the first thing we have to do is listen to these stories, to listen to the stories that are coming out. I was listening to NPR the other day. By the way, I was fascinated with something in NPR. NPR now is 50 years old. So it's the same age as this community is, 50 years old. So NPR started in 71. We started in 71. Maybe I'm the only one that's excited about little trivia like that. But on NPR, there was this person talking about how, you remember the story of the Dutch child who put their finger in the dike and didn't want to remove it, afraid the whole dike, the whole lake, or the water would come in. If you know anything about the Netherlands, it's called Nether because they're underwater, and that they've built a system of dikes and windmills to get the water out of these lower, below sea level land. And they've been prosperous because they've been able to bring ships in close, and the port system is all because of they've been able to do this. So this is the country's myth about we have to sacrifice and do what we can. And so she was describing this as many of us have been holding our finger in the dike during this time of social isolation because we're afraid if we pull our finger out of the dike, all our emotions are going to be overwhelming and just be too much to handle. And slowly, a few of us at a time are taking the finger out of the dike, and guess what? The emotions are overwhelming. We are subject to sometimes just crying and sadness over the past time, over loss, over our own things that we haven't been able to do over the last year and a half, or over just seeing people and giving a hug. Just little things like this that little things touch us. And so while the fingers are coming out of this dam, out of the dike, the water is moving, the emotions are moving, and we need to be able to, or be willing to listen to stories that are raw. They're not practiced out, like a story you want to tell at a party. You think about it many times before you start saying it. So by the time you tell a story, it's polished and you're ready for it. These are stories that aren't polished. They're just wide open emotions, and we have to be willing to hear them. And this includes people whose cultures, whose families, whose race have been oppressed, whose gender has been oppressed over history. And we need to be willing to listen to these stories. I remember Charlie DeLito here in Napa. She's the founder and director of the Soskil Intertribal Council. In meetings that she would come to our community, she would talk about indigenous people that were lost, that they were missing, and nobody knew where they were. And this week we hear a story in Canada about the burial of over 200 children at this school, unmarked graves that people wondered where they went, but because they were not, Indigenous people were not treated as people, there was no acknowledgement of how they died or when they died. Okay, that's hard to hear. That's a hard story to hear. And we need to just listen to this story, because the first step of healing process is to listen to people's story. That's the way when people are first traumatized by the fires, by earthquakes, by George Floyd. This is the anniversary of this year, this time also, of him being killed, and other people of color that have been killed. We need to just listen to the stories and just let it be a raw emotional story. The story of the Tulsa Massacre of the Greenwood Village. It's been 100 years ago when that neighborhood was destroyed by angry white people because they were jealous of the prosperity of this community. Us just coming out of a Depression time, they were more prosperous than the surrounding white communities, and they destroyed it. And that village continued to grow, continued after that, rebuilt itself. But then a period of urban renewal, which is really getting rid of certain poor areas that gutted neighborhoods in Tulsa and Chicago and Minneapolis and many other places. They put highways over the top of those neighborhoods. There's nothing we can do to solve it. We can't fix it, but we can listen to it. And we need to be willing to listen to these stories and our own stories in our own life. And the second thing I would say about developing a new story is that we recognize, we observe, we notice what beliefs we hold about others and about these stories we tell. And we let go of the beliefs that no longer serve us, like the one of my brother that I talked about. What I notice is when I hear a story, I don't know about you, but I tend to, now I know I'm dating myself, but remember what a newspaper is? You know, it gets delivered to your house in the driveway, and you open it up and there's different sections to it. I remember as a kid, I remember loving the newspaper. I went straight to the comic section, or sometimes later I went to the sports section. But each section, I think we treat that like a newspaper. So for instance, the headlines is just the story. The front page is generally opinion free. But then you have the editorial pages, which are the stories we tell about those stories, the opinions we have, the judgments we have. The comic pages, how we make fun of people, we mock them because of our own insecurities. The sports page, which is the drama, the play-by-play of what happened. Can you believe what she said? And then he said this. And, just the whole thing we do like a newspaper, and we change it, embellish it, and our belief systems about this. We need to stick to the front page on stories and stick to the facts, stick to what just really happened, and observe how we change that story over time. There's a great story of a person. Her name is Jen Bender. She's lives in Ohio. She's an artist, a writer, and a self-proclaimed mystic. She was growing up as a preteen, 11, 12, 13-year-old, and her grandmother was very critical of her body, of her self-being, just how she went about life, and her grandmother trying to correct her in some ways, I guess. But the problem, Jen developed an inner critic that was like her grandmother's voice, that was critical of herself all the time. And it wasn't until she began to process this in her 20s, she realized that she needed to let go of this inner critic. She began to do some therapy. She began to do some spiritual work. And her intention one year was of transformation. And in that time, she was able to let go of all her grandmother's effect on her. and let go of these beliefs that were in her and recognize that she was a capable, beautiful, powerful woman. So much that when her grandmother became ill and she came to the bedside of her grandmother, her grandmother became very scared about dying. And she said, what's going to happen? Is someone going to come? Is someone going to take me somewhere? I'm afraid. That she was able to comfort her grandmother and be present with her and love her right where she is. And this is the work that we need to do, that we can do, is the work of acceptance and forgiveness and letting go. And we do that by first noticing when there's something off, there's something that's not engaged in that. And we do that in our daily life. We do that in our in just remembering the stories. We hear the stories of our ancestors. And we can write a new story. There was another story I heard this week of a woman. Her name is Ulrich Reinhardt. She's German. She was visiting India in some of the rural places of India, and she noticed how much the poverty was a cycle in those areas, abject poverty, as well as the caste system that kept people from being able to progress. She wanted to do something, but she didn't know what to do because she really wasn't part of that culture. But she wanted to do something that would change, that would shake the system up. And what she knew from Germany and from other parts of Europe she'd been to, that the skate parks were there, skateboarding, and that the kids that went to these skateboarding parks were so accepting of each other, that they were, that they weren't competitive in what they did. They appreciated and honored every attempt at new tricks and new ways of doing things, even people that are brand new. So she pulled money together and built a skate park in different parts of the rural India, particularly in the one that's most famous is in the town of Janwar. And in this town, the community, once the park was built, they made a rule. They said, first of all, everybody gets to go because girls weren't allowed to play with boys at that time. And you have to know that this was a culture where young girls, 12, 13, 14 years old, would be promised to a man 20 or more years older than they were, and would have babies at a young age. And that's how this poverty continued, as well as a caste system that separated people, that one was better than the others. The skate park, the rule is everybody can be here, boys and girls, different castes. And because it was something different, something exciting, everybody was willing to do that. And the other thing you had to do, you had to go to school in order to be at the skate park. So they came together, all caste, all people, and they accepted and found a way at this young level to honor. And one girl in particular, her name was Asha Gand. And Asha Gand became quite good at skateboarding, and she loved it so much. And her father at 13 said, well, it's time for you to get married. And she goes, no, I have to skateboard. And he didn't know what to say to that, because it was like something nobody would have ever thought about in his family or his culture. So he put it off, and then his neighbors kept saying, you need to marry her. She'll never find a husband if she doesn't get married soon. And he put more pressure on. She goes, no, I'm skateboarding. I can't get married now. I'm too busy doing that and too busy going to school. And she ended up, she's going to a skating world championship in China now. Still not married. It's changing that rules around. Several of the other kids in these villages have had scholarships to go to higher education schools in India or the UK or in Germany. So they're making their way up, all because of this really radical idea this one woman had of a skateboard park, a place that we can come together. So it's these kind of things that work, that we can open up to what is the truth. So the third thing I want to say about this new story is to allow yourself to create this story. Paul Paul Coelho, the writer of The Alchemist, said, imagine a new story for your life and start living it. Imagine a new story for your life and start living it. So from our imagination, we have this intention. We know the experience we want to create and know that with Spirit as our co-creator, as our muse, think about that, as our muse, like our inspiration to our writing, it can guide us towards this new experience that we want, allow us not to be affected by what happened in the past, by the precedents, but allow to live the possibility, the principle that allows us to create a new world in this way. Mark Nepo, in the book 7,000 Ways to Listen, said, in many ways, our stories are part of one story. Our pain is part of one pain. Our surprise at the beauty and fragility of life is part of one chorus of awe. So this is what we can do, is we can be in awe of life. We can just simply open up to Spirit and say, show me the way. I'm not sure how to do this. I know the old way didn't work. Show me a new way. Gabrielle Bernstein says, God, what you got? I don't have anything. What I've done hasn't worked in the past. So God, what you got? She just turns that. It can be a very simple opening to this way. And in that way, when we're able to allow Spirit to be the co-author of this new story, we can be, like Mother Teresa suggested, a pencil in the hand of a writing God who's sending a love letter to the world. That this new story that we are allowing Spirit to write through us is this love story, this revolution of love that I talked about last week, an evolutionary love. That is openness up to this. The Beatles said that all we need is love, but then they also said in another song they don't want to start a revolution. Well, I do want to start a revolution. I want to start a love revolution, a revolutionary love that changes ourselves and changes other people. And we can do that by rewriting the stories of our past or writing them into the future individually and collectively as a community. So let's go to prayer. What I know in this moment is that God is good. And God is our muse. God is our creator. God is the power within us that allows us to write this new story, that allows us to let go of what no longer serves us. So we are able to do that knowing that we are one with all that is, and Spirit through us creates this new story, creates a new principle, a new precedent, that we're living fully and boldly living this new story. And so it is. And now, yep, keep coming, Lynda. And now a little more Lynda. It's kind of hard to get up these stairs, isn't it?
I have two orders. One said you'd call me and the other one didn't. So
Oh.
So it is. You know, it's funny when I come to play music, sometimes it's uncanny how the music matches the message. So this song is called I Embrace. Sometimes I meditate without revelation. I wonder if this journey isn't mine. Sometimes I just can't change my thinking. I wonder, am I wise enough to try? Well, I embrace the journey of this evolution. I embrace this chain of my being. I celebrate the dawning of this revolution. I embrace it.
embracing. Things come at me like a freight train on a railway. The answer is always the same. Life's for living and not for lasting. So why are you so afraid when I embrace the journey of this evolution? I embrace the state of my being. I celebrate the dawning of this revelation. I embrace it. I embrace it. When the wildfires are burning, when the earth is warming, in the midst of this chaos, I am building a temple of love. Well, I embrace the journey of this evolution. I embrace the state of my being. Celebrate the dawning of this revelation. I embrace it. I embrace it. Oh, Spirit, I trust in thee.
Wow, beautiful. You're right, perfect music. Let's give another round for Lynda Lundry-Starr. This is a time in our service when we invite you to participate in circulation of your abundance. We appreciate all the gifts you've given of time, talent, and treasure. We have a basket set up front. You can put your donations in that. We're still not passing any kind of basket. And also online, there's a link for you to donate to Breeze, or you can mail in checks either way. But we so appreciate your offering your donations to us because it helps us continue our work, and it also allows you to participate in the circulation. What you give, you also receive in this. So we have an affirmation that affirms this. By raising our hands, we say, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate, and so it is. And we also want to appreciate all our children out there. That quite a year for all our children, our families, and we want to just continue to love them up. We'll start our children's program again soon. We'll let you know more details, but we just raise our hands and we simply know we love you, we care about you, and we're here for you. And finally, our affirmation, community affirmation, repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. I'm led by Spirit. I am guided by wisdom. I am protected by love. I am here to be a blessing. I am so grateful. And so it is.
And so it is.
And now, our closing song.
We'll give you another one that went with your song.
Okay.
I'm resting in your light. I'm ready for you. I'm resting in your light. I'm ready for you. Oh, I'm resting in your light. I'm ready for you. I'm resting in your light. I'm ready for you. Show me the way. I don't remember that note, but there you go. Show me the way.
That's good. So what we we go forward, that Spirit shows us the way. God, what you got, right? And so it is. Feel free to hang around. We'll be here, socialize, and share. It's good to see people. It's been a while for many of you. So blessings, everybody. And thank you, Lynda. Thank you, Branessa. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
What if everyone could say that it's good to be alive today? Oh. Yes, it's good to be alive today.
Reverend J. Lang from the Napa Valley Center for Spiritual Living on the grounds of Bottle Rock, which has been postponed this year until September. And at our center, we are able to do a music benefit called Unbottled on June 18th at 7 p.m. It features the like of Michael Franti, Gary Lynn Floyd, Karen Drucker, Lisa Ferrara, Shauna Marshall, and many more. And it benefits the nonprofits that have been challenged during this pandemic, including Puerto Abiertas, Napa Valley Food Bank, our own diversity and ministry program, Teen Connect, Crush MS, and more. So I hope you can join us. Tickets are now on sale. Even if you can't join us on June 18th, you'll still receive a link that you can watch it, because it's going to be a fun event, and you're part of a bigger benefit here, which we really appreciate. Hope you can attend and be part of this movement. Much love to you.
One day, we always say that it's good to be alive today. It's good to be alive, y'all. Thank you for being here to support, and I look forward to the time when we can all be together in the same place, high-fiving each other, giving a stranger a hug, and just being a community and one. But in the meantime, thank you so much for being here online with the Unbottled Festival. Sing this part with me now. And we all say, one day,